Nadine Menendez was eventually allowed to leave the scene and go home. She was ultimately found not at fault. There are not only questions about how brief and cursory the investigation seemed, it also appears it's connected to one of the bribes outlined in the 39-page federal indictment. Prosecutors allege that 1 month after that fatal accident, Senator Menendez tried to influence the New Jersey Attorney General to go easy on criminal charges against a businessman in exchange for a $60,000 convertible car because Nadine needed a car. When the new Mercedes-Benz convertible arrived, Nadine texted the senator, quote, "Congratulations, mon amour de la vie. We are the proud owners of a 2019 Mercedes." Here to break all of this down is Brent Johnson, political reporter for the Star Ledger and NJ.com, and trial attorney and legal analyst Merced Colwin. Brent, I got to ask you, as a New Jersey journalist with your finger on the pulse out there, had you ever heard about this deadly car crash involving Nadine Menendez?
No, this was the first that any of us in our sphere heard of this. And it's hard to keep things under wraps in New Jersey politics. There wasn't even an inkling or a hint, anything that I heard, nor any other of my fellow reporters. So this was pretty new to us.
How unusual is that for nobody to know about this?
There's a lot of loose lips in New Jersey politics, so it's unlikely something this large would go under wraps. But, you know, yeah, this is not usual, but these things do pop up from time to time that we don't know about. But this was pretty notable because of the charges that just hit the senator recently.
Yeah, okay. Mercedes, from what you can see, sure, did Nadine Menendez receive special treatment in this investigation, as the witnesses and the family of the victim allege?
It's amazing that there is a dead person on that pavement right there, right on the street, and yet
he was killed almost instantly.
Instantly. Let me see your cell phone. Well, maybe she was a distracted driver at the time of impact. And frankly, you need probable cause to determine whether to actually test someone for alcohol or drugs. She's not exhibiting any of those signs. But at a minimum, did you have a drink? Where were you coming from? Where are you driving? How fast are you driving? None of that's taking place. What you hear is, hey, this is my buddy's wife, friend of a wife. I mean, it's absolutely absurd. It looks very clear she received special treatment.
I was going to say, how unusual is it for somebody to hit and kill somebody and then go home a short time later?
Do you know what's so telling, too, Elizabeth? Did you hear him say, this isn't a criminal investigation? There's a dead person here. Of course, the presumption when you have law enforcement there, they have to investigate. Maybe it is criminal, but don't say outright from the very get-go, this isn't a criminal investigation. It has to have an open mind, and you have to proceed it, especially when you have a decedent.
With all this coming to light, could more charges be filed?
Oh, undoubtedly, especially if there's a cover-up or corruption. I mean, yes, it's linked to the federal investigation and the indictment, but it can go much beyond that.
It's important to note, by the way, Nadine Menendez was not tested for drugs or alcohol. Yep. The victim was. He was, and he was, I mean, he was dead.
Right,
but,
yes.
All right, hey, Brent, I need to ask you, Senator Menendez was asked about this in the halls of Congress last night. He said, quote, obviously we are thinking about the family, but the victim's family says they have never heard from Senator Menendez or his wife. That's not a good look.
Well, yeah, I don't know the details of that. I've not spoken to the family personally, but this is the first time we've heard Menendez address it. He addressed it in the halls of Capitol Hill yesterday. And it's worth noting that she was not his wife when this incident happened. She was his girlfriend. They were dating at the time. But obviously, this is getting a lot more attention now because of the charges that were filed. And there are many open questions about everything going on in this case going forward. And we're going to hear a lot about this because the trial isn't set to start till May, and it might be even pushed till after that. We're still waiting to see if he is going to resign, which is many Democrats are pushing for, or if he may not run for re-election. So this story is going to keep going.
What are you hearing? Is there any more increase in that pressure given the news cycle in the last 24 hours? It's been a lot of outrage and disbelief at this report.
Yeah, there have not been any more calls for him to resign, but this definitely was in the bloodstream in Trenton yesterday. You heard politicians and insiders talking about it. And this is what is being discussed all around New Jersey right now in political circles. It's who knows when the next shoe is going to drop or when the next comment or when the next thing is going to happen. This is a daily thing in this state.
Yeah. And those text messages sure don't look good.
Absolutely.
You know, celebrating the new Mercedes.
And deleted text messages, too, which is really problematic for them.
Thanks so much for watching. Go to joinnn.com to find NewsNation on your television provider. And don't forget to click the red subscribe button below to get more of NewsNation's fact-driven, unbiased coverage.